In this video, I'm going to teach you how to find good natural lighting in your home or office so that you can take wonderful Instagram or flat lay product photos on the fly. Hi, I'm Laney. I make wedding invitations and I teach creative entrepreneurs how to make money in their businesses. I made $150,000 last year primarily through Instagram. So for Instagram, you want to have the power to take photos on the fly of anything that you're working on so that you don't have to wait for a professional and pay them a ton of money and wait a long time to get those photos back just to post something on Instagram. You want to have that content at your fingertips. And the key to that is learning about natural lighting and styling. So this video is going to teach you about natural lighting. I have another video on styling, and if you like these, check out our full Instagram playlist so you can learn all about how to make more money on Instagram. Okay, so this is the window that I'm going to be using, and this is a north-facing window, meaning that I can never actually see the sun out of this window. It's a little darker than it usually is, but I think it's going to work fine. So if you're in a different hemisphere, the directions I use are going to be different, but actually plant lighting has been really helpful to me in figuring this out. And the key is if you can draw a line from the sun, the actual sun, to your paper, without anything being in the way, then that is direct light. Another tip is if you put your hand between the sun and your paper and you can see a very clear outline of your hand, like with a straight line, that is direct light, and that's gonna be a little harsh for photos. Whereas if you can put your hand here and you can see more of a gray blob or something that kind of looks like a hand but not really, that's indirect light, and it's gonna be a lot nicer for photos. If you only have direct facing windows, like north or south is usually, depending on which hemisphere you're in, the direct facing windows, then you'll just need to diffuse them and pay attention to the times of day when the sun is not directly coming into that window. If you have east and west facing windows, then you'll get some harsh light at certain times of day. You'll have a time of day where there's not that harsh light that you can take your photos. So just pay attention to what that looks like. Use a little shadow trick, or see if you can draw a line from the paper to the sun, because you don't want that. If you don't have any natural light in your place, then you'll likely want to shoot outside and find a shady location that's kind of similar to this in that you can't draw a line from the sun to your paper. You'll want something shading that, whether it's a balcony or some foliage or something like that. If you use foliage, you're typically going to get like dappled light, which can be kind of cool as well, but maybe is not the look you're going for. So something like a balcony or another building is going to be really helpful there. So now I'm going to switch over to this camera over here and show you what this looks like. Okay, so we can't see everything because this has to be horizontal. I'm not gonna go into styling here. What we've done is raise some of our pieces to draw attention to them and to accentuate the shadows using these blocks from Source Co. I have a video on YouTube about styling that I can link below for you. We've also included just a couple little elements, mostly just to accentuate the shadows to show these points that I'm trying to make. Now, this has a sheer curtain here. This is what I was talking about when I meant to diffuse the light. If I take this away, what happens is the light becomes a lot more crisp, which is not actually a great thing. It's a pretty cloudy day, so it's not terrible right now, but when it's really sunny, you'll see the shadows become harsher, and the light over here compared to over here gets a lot harsher, and it becomes a little bit more blue. Whereas when you put the diffused curtain there, you obviously don't want it on your photos. It's a lot softer. The shadows don't look super extreme. So I'm just gonna raise that and then lower it again. And even if it takes away a little bit of our light, that is an okay thing because we can lighten it up in post or in editing, or you can shoot at a brighter time of day. It's kind of cloudy and gross today outside, but you definitely want to diffuse that light so it's a little bit less harsh. Another thing that you want to do, you'll notice that the light coming in on this side is more than the light coming in on this side, so it's a little bit darker. Okay, I took the camera off the tripod. I removed the burgundy envelope to show you this. So pay attention to the shadows, specifically right here. As I add this in, it gets a lot less harsh, and when I take it away, it's a lot darker. See? Lighter, darker, and it helps light this left side of the photo. It's not too crazy because we have some good lighting here, but if you pay attention to those shadows, they're a lot crisper. Like right here, this is a good one. And then I put this, and it just diffuses it a little bit by bouncing back some of that light. So if you want those soft shadows, then definitely have a diffuser on the window side, have a reflector on the other side. Okay, and the last thing is to pay attention to where the light bounces off. So you'll see here that I have this yellow accent wall over here. You might not see this on Instagram and stuff a lot because it's on the wall where my light is. And that is on purpose because if I painted yellow over on this wall or anywhere else, then the light would bounce off of that and then pull yellow light into my room. And I can't have more yellow light. I need the light to be really neutral so that it doesn't affect the colors when I'm taking photos. So that's why if you do an accent wall with bright colors, always kind of do that on the same wall that your light is on so it's not reflecting back. And if you don't have any light in your place, then this is a light that I love. I'll link it for you below, but you can use something like this to reflect light, but make sure you're not putting it, it's the same thing. Like if you can draw a line from your invitation to the light source, it's gonna be too harsh. So if I turn on here, that's gonna be really, really harsh. But if you reflect it off of something, we're gonna pretend that this is a white wall. I'm gonna put this, I'll put this here. So you can see how kind of harsh that is. It looks like it's in a studio, but if you reflect the light off of it, it becomes a lot softer. So the light is coming from here and not directly from the light source. So again, it's just that question of drawing a line from the light source to the piece, and you don't want to be able to do that. You want the light source to be bouncing off other things so that it diffuses evenly on your piece. Like this is not as good of light as our natural light that we had, but it's still a lot softer, and this could be edited. It could be cooled down a little bit, made a little bit more blue, and then brightened up a little bit in post in order to make a still really nice photo, even though you don't have any of that natural light. But if you can find the natural light, I used to do a lot of shooting outside, and I would just batch it really hard, like get 20 suites or pieces and take a photo shoot every Saturday outside when I had time to do that. So let me know what questions you have about light. Hope this was helpful in figuring out what kind of windows are gonna work best, why you're getting that really harsh light with harsh shadows, how to diffuse, how to reflect, and then how to use your artificial light as well for the best results.